We were just joking. Is it the godfather of the leasing industry? Is it the grandfather of the leasing industry? It's what, 50 years?
Yeah, 50 years since I formed ILFC, International Lease Finance Corp, 1973.
How much has the industry changed since then?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Back then, the aircraft leasing community was non-existent. By 1975, 1% of the aircraft in the airline world were leased. And today, we're at 55%.
This is a perfect environment to be a leaser as well, a lessor.
I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's
pretty good.
It's close to optimal.
You guys have pretty good credit ratings.
Yes.
The airlines don't.
Yes.
Therefore, you're going to get better deals on the cost of capital. You're going to get a better deal on a whole range of things, and that advantages obviously the airlines when they come to you. Is that how the model works right now?
Well, I think we have two significant advantages. First of all, we buy in bulk.
Yep.
So we've ordered hundreds of aircraft. We right now have almost 400 aircraft in the pipeline yet to deliver from Boeing and Airbus. So obviously we negotiate reasonably good pricing on the whole line of Boeing and Airbus products. And then secondly, as you said, we enjoy a lower cost of capital than most of the airlines.
Yep.
So that gives us a significant advantage. And thirdly, we have aircraft deliveries in 24, 25, 26 that are not available right now to a new buyer, whether it's an airline or a lessor. So we have the product, we have attractive financing, and airline traffic demand is growing much faster than what any of us projected.
Well, let's talk about the sustainability of that demand in just a moment. Just coming back to the aircraft you've got and the aircraft you're expecting, are you going to get all those airplanes?
We'll get them, but we'll get them a little
When are
late.
you going to get them?
Well, look, right now, both of them are struggling with production issues, trying to raise production rates.
Yep.
At the same time, they're struggling to get all of the avionics and engines and buyer furnished equipment. So we're building that into our business case, that delays are there.
Yeah.
We'll get compensation for those delays, and the airlines will have to make do with what they have. We're also extending a lot of leases that are set to expire this year and next year, because the airlines are being defensive. They want to make sure they have enough lift. So almost every lease we have that's coming up for expiration is getting extended.
You talked just a moment ago about the strong demand we're seeing for travel right now.
Yes.
You think that's sustainable?
Yes, and what's interesting is that during the pandemic, there was this psychology that business travel is not going to recover. People will continue to just use video, chatting, and other forms of communication. But what we're getting from the airlines is their business class and first class are running at high load factors.
It's full of premium leisure travel, which presumably at some point, as the economy rolls over, may get dinged.
It's hard to tell, but business travel is recovering.
Yep.
And leisure traffic, as you say, has recovered much faster than projected.
But so in that scenario, is there a danger that airlines are over-ordering right now?
Yes.
Okay. How significant is that danger?
Well, I think right now there's a herd mentality of ordering just to protect future slots. The question is, will all of those aircraft deliver as currently contracted? Will many of them get deferred, or airlines will opt out of some of the aircraft or swap with other buyers?
Yeah. So it's a rational thing to do right now.
Yeah, but it's a dynamic. Look at it as a dynamic order book. It's not a static order book with Airbus and Boeing.
Why do you think this industry has ended up in the pickle that it's in, given the fact that other industries have recovered much more quickly?
Well, first of all, we've had now 3.5 years where airlines were extremely cautious. They've laid off a lot of pilots, a lot of engineers. They cut back on their infrastructure, investing in, for example, maintenance facilities. And now it's a catch-up mode. So the demand is much greater than what they're able to supply.
And do you think...
Which is a good phenomenon.
Okay, so what's the lesson learned from that? If you think about...
Not to overreact.
Okay.
Because the industry is cyclical. But if you overcompensate, you're going to be harmed during the recovery.
And do you think that's something that is going to be learned? The fear, the danger right now is that this industry goes from kind of standstill during the pandemic to a huge boom,
Yes.
and then slows down very quickly once again.
Yes. Or the rate of growth slows down.
Yeah.
But what is negating that to some degree is that we have a replacement cycle coming up,
Right.
where aircraft that hit 25, 30 years of age number thousands of wide body and single engine aircraft.
Yeah.
So even if air traffic's growth begins to taper, there's a big replacement cycle.
And a lot of those aircraft are being replaced because airlines feel that newer aircraft are more sustainable aircraft
Yeah,
from an
lower fuel
environmental
burn,
point of
lower
view.
maintenance
Yeah.
cost, and in many countries now, the older aircraft you have to pay additional taxes,
Yeah.
landing fees are higher, so there's additional costs besides fuel that are being imposed by airports and government authorities.
Do you think the whole idea, though, is that we renew the fleet, we introduce SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel,
Yes.
and 2050 targets?
Progressively.
Yeah, progressively, but
Yeah.
but the kind of the carbon neutral 2050 targets are achievable. Do you think they are achievable?
Personally, I think it's a very tough goal to achieve. But I think the industry will do everything it can to get as close to that as possible. But I would not be surprised if it's delayed between 5 and 10 years.
So what kind of deals are you talking about at the moment here? Who are you seeing? What are going to be the standouts from this show from a Steve-Hazy point of view?
We're seeing airlines that projected maybe a 3 to 5% traffic growth
Yep.
in 2023 compared to 2019, and they're now saying we have 15 to 20% growth.
Yep.
So they just totally misjudged demand. So they need aircraft in the shortest possible time frame.
Yep.
They want current leases extended, and they're no longer asking for discounts on the existing airplanes. They're
Yep.
asking for capacity.
So in this environment, what does Steve-Hazy do? Does he go, I'm going to keep ordering, I'm going to see some big orders from you guys? Or do you say, actually, this market's getting a little crazy right now, I'm going to back off? How are you
The
thinking?
latter.
Right.
We already have a backlog of almost 400 aircraft with Boeing and Airbus. Undelivered A320neos, A321neos, A350s,
Yep.
A330neos, 787s.
So you see no need to go out. Well,
No.
given what's happening, and you're not going to
Yeah.
you're going to be paying list price right now. You don't see any reason to go and be buying airplanes.
We still have some price protections if we ordered a limited number of additional aircraft based on our existing contracts.
Yep.
But we're not going to join the herd and just order planes for 2030, 2031, 2032.
And you think those slots will ultimately open up again?
Exactly. In fact, slots earlier than that will open up.
Do you
Because
think
there'll be airline failures, there'll be leasing companies and others that will want to dispose of assets. So I'm not worried that we'll be short of airplanes.